If you've been scrolling through endless pages of audio-video mixers, watching unboxing videos, and still feel stuck wondering which unit actually makes sense for your channel, this review is here to cut through the noise. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. In the next few minutes, I'll walk through why the RODECaster videos might be the sweet spot you've been hunting for, and where it could leave you wishing you'd taken a different route. First off, the hesitation most creators feel isn't about specs on paper, it's about the day-to-day workflow. You've probably imagined dragging a separate audio interface, a video switcher, and a laptop all into a cramped desk, then trying to sync everything in post. The risk of buying the wrong thing is ending up with a tower of gear that never quite talks to each other, or paying extra for a mixer that only handles sound while you scramble to add video later. The RODECaster videos tries to solve that exact problem by bundling audio mixing, video switching, and USB streaming into a single compact console. What you get out of the box is more than just a piece of hardware. The package includes the console itself, 2 RODECaster mic packs, and the necessary cables to hook up cameras or HDMI sources. Those mic packs are built around Rode's Revolution preamps, delivering up to 75 dB of clean gain. In practical terms, that means you can plug a dynamic mic or a condenser into the console and get studio-grade audio without needing a separate gain staging step. For someone who records interviews or co-hosts podcasts, that eliminates the guesswork of balancing levels between multiple devices. The console supports up to 4 1080p 60 video sources. That's enough for most small-scale productions. A main camera, a webcam, a game capture card, and perhaps a screen share laptop. Because each source is routed through the same unit, you can switch between them with a single press, overlay audio cues, and push the final mix straight to your streaming platform via USB. No need to fire up OBS, add an external audio interface, and then sync everything in post. If you're doing a weekly interview series where you want the host on a camera, the guest on a second camera, and occasional screen graphics, the videos lets you cut between those feeds on the fly and keep the audio levels consistent. Who should buy it? Think of creators who are just stepping into the video podcast space, or anyone who runs a modest-sized studio and wants to keep the footprint small. If you're a solo YouTuber who records tutorials with a webcam and a screen share, the 4-input limit is more than sufficient, and the built-in audio mixer means you won't have to buy a separate USB interface. The bundled microphones also add value if you're starting from scratch. They're tuned for vocal clarity, and the preamps give you headroom to handle louder speakers without distortion. On the flip side, if you already own a dedicated video switcher that handles 8 or more HDMI inputs, or you need native 4K 60 support for high-resolution gaming streams, the videos will feel limiting. Caps out at 1080p 60, which is still fine for most TalkShoe formats but not ideal if you're aiming for the newest console-level visuals. Likewise, advanced broadcasters who rely on multi-track recording for post-production will miss the ability to send isolated audio channels to a DAW. This unit mixes everything down to a single stereo bus for streaming. Let's talk about some real-world scenarios. I tried the console for a 2-person interview podcast where both participants were on separate cameras. The audio from the Revolution preamps sounded clean, and the automatic level adjust feature helped keep the conversation balanced even when one speaker raised their voice. Switching between the 2 camera feeds was as simple as tapping the on-screen button. The transition was smooth enough that I could edit the final video without any jitter. In a separate test, I set up a gaming livestream. My game capture fed the first HDMI, my facecam the second, and a small overlay video the third. The video switcher handled the rapid scene changes without lag, and the USB output streamed directly to Twitch without any additional software configuration. The only hiccup was that when I tried to add a 4th source, my phone, for a live comment feed, the console's HDMI ports filled up, forcing me to decide whether to sacrifice the overlay or the phone feed. If you regularly juggle more than 4 sources, you'll need a larger switcher. Another practical strength lies in the way the console handles audio routing. Because the mics are integrated, you can add sound effects, music beds, or even a telephone call into the mix with a few button presses. For a creator who wants to sprinkle in intro music without juggling separate apps, that's a genuine time saver. However, the effects library is modest. There's no built-in equalizer for each channel, so if you need precise tonal shaping, you'll still have to rely on external plugins or a separate audio processor. Value-wise, the bundled mic packs are where the console earns its keep. Purchasing comparable Rode microphones.